a sucker if you a step parent. Straight like that. So I got two stepdaughters, right? One of them shipping out to the army in about a month. So yesterday we sitting on the couch, we chopping it up. And she's like, yeah, I had to make a will and I had to put people in charge of my body and my money. God forbid anything happen. But she goes, just in case though. But if I do die, I left everything to my dad. So I paused for a second. I said, huh? Yeah, I left everything to my dad. I figured like he'll do the right thing. I said, everything? Yeah. I said, you know, the car? Yeah. I bought you the car. All your jewelry? Yeah. I bought you that. I go to the room, I'm watching TV, all in my feelings, a tear fall from my eye. On the way to Crumble Cookie, she called me. Yo, Rob. Sure enough, she got a flat. She's like, yeah, I got a flat. What do I do? Call your motherfucking daddy.
Now, with all respect to how this man feels, let me point something out here. There was no issue with the woman that he married. His issue is with the stepdaughter, okay? And I always tell you guys, you cannot replace these fathers or mothers. They're gonna always have a special place in their hearts for their mothers or fathers. And he's already come to the conclusion that you're a sucker if you're a stepdad, and respectfully, I disagree, okay? Let me show you guys this next video. We're gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you exactly why I disagree with this, okay? Let's go.
Woman that is a baby mother that is not widowed is not for you, bro. I know that this is gonna be one of the most controversial things that I say tonight, but I'm just gonna tell you. If she had a kid out of wedlock, I would never advise a guy to do something that I wouldn't do. Okay? And before you even consider getting in a relationship, now this is much different than a guy that just chooses to have sex with her. I don't dick police. I do say exercise a level of dick discipline because you never want to fumble the bag as a result of dealing with a woman at all. Women have largely been the bane of a lot of men's existence, and it is the downfall of some of the biggest kingdoms. You work your whole life, you build it up, and then you fumble it over a woman, all right? So, never deal, or I would never advocate for a man to marry a woman, that is a single mother. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not an advocate for it. I think it is one of the dumbest moves that a guy can pull, right? I don't care what Umar Johnson tells you. I don't care what Boyce Watkins' corny ass told you. I don't care what Steve Harvey is telling you. I don't care if Shannon Sharp is out here paying for divorces. Never, ever marry a woman or look to get in a relationship with a woman that is a single mother, especially if she's not widowed.
Now again, respectfully, I disagree. But that's Anton Daniels, guys. Check him out, follow him. He's a good brother to follow. I just disagree with him on this thought, okay? I've actually had a conversation with Anton Daniels before, and what I told him was this. If I had a son that grew up to be just like him, I'd be proud. And this is even though we disagree on religion, and he probably disagrees with my polygamous relationship. You understand? I love the brother. I respect him. He actually gives me a lot of hope in our young black men today that we still have a fighting chance. Okay, so this is with all due respect to Antoine Daniels, but I gotta refute what he just said, okay? Number one thing, he said he wouldn't ask somebody to do something that he wouldn't do himself. And I respect that. He's doing what he would only put on you what he would do. That tells me he's being genuine. But I do think that his opinion on this topic is very biased. He's only looking at one side or through the lens of men and what men have gone through on the negative side of step parenting. Before I even deal with it though, let me show you guys another video. This is a video that I made a few years back. It's from a Reddit story. I'm acting it out. It's about a stepfather who refuses to pay for his stepdaughter's wedding, and he explains why. Check this out. So let me tell you guys about my stepdaughter, all right? She wants her real daddy to walk her down the aisle. Now let me give you a little backstory on me and my stepdaughter. She just graduated from university, which I paid for. Now, she went to an in-state university, but it still cost me about $40,000. Now, I also bought her a car. I bought her a car straight after high school. That way she could go back and forth to school. I bought her a car. She still lives with me and her mother. She does not have a job. Now, she's set to be married on August the 8th. And for the past 6 months, that's all her and her mother been talking about doing. Being occupied with, being consumed most of their time. Now, her daddy, he don't contribute to not 1 cent on her. Not her education, not child support, which is partly her mother's fault because, you know, she didn't fight for that. And I guess that's just what the settlement was. And he only around to make promises. I do that for you, I do this for you, and then take off. And then she'd be heartbroken. But she adores her father, right? So, like I said, she's set to be married in August. And the wedding venue, I told them they can have it in my home. The wedding venue can hold about 250 people, right? Now I said, hey, I got a list of 20 people that I want to come to the wedding. I'm paying for this at my house. I want these 20 people to come. Do y'all know Saturday, I see one of my friends at the golf course, right? He's supposed to come to the wedding. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna see you at the wedding, right? He said, I only got an announcement. I didn't get an invite. I'm like, nah. I'll let my girlfriend and stepdaughter know to send out the invitations on these few people, and you're supposed to get an invite. He said, I got something, but it was an announcement. So we walked to his car because I want to check, right? And sure enough, it was an announcement. So I went and talked to my girlfriend and said, did you invite those 20 people to the wedding that I told you about? Man, she didn't invite none of them. She said 250 people was a little tight, and I don't think we can get your 20 people in there. Man, I was pissed. And the people that were supposed to come, they pissed as well. Then she's gonna say if any of the people that we already invited don't RSVP, then we'll get some of your people in here. I'm like, what? Man, that's crazy, man. Don't even worry about it, man. I'll just be mad. All right? So now, the crazy part about it is, when I check the invitations, they don't even have my name on them. They have her real daddy and her on the invitation that I paid for. I paid for these invitations. How you got a real daddy on there, her mama on there? Cool. Couple days later, I'm hosting the venue at my house, hosting the wedding family at my house, okay? It's me, stepdaughter, girlfriend, groom, and their parents, right? Trying to help everybody get real acquainted. Then a surprise guest shows up, my stepdaughter's real daddy. And I'm like, you know what? Cool. He probably just coming to the wedding, right? But tell me why my stepdaughter proceeds to stand up and announce that her real daddy is giving her away at the wedding. What? The wedding that I'm paying for, in my house, the daddy don't do nothing for you, is giving you away? Oh, and they were just so happy and smiling. Oh, yay, great. Inside, I was fuming. Inside, I wanted to cry or punch somebody. Probably want to do both, honestly. So I took that time to stand up and give a toast as well. I said, I owe the groom and the bride a deep debt of gratitude because they have opened my eyes tonight. Oh, everybody at the table was just smiling. They have let me know that my position in this family is not what I thought it was. Oh, you should have saw the frowns, man. Now they mad. It done got serious. I let them know I am not the godfather or, the head of the family that I thought I was, the loved one that would be seeked out in times of need. Nah. I realized I'm an ATM. Yeah. So, since I have been replaced as host of the wedding, I shall be giving my financial duties to the new host. And I will back out monetarily. Yeah. Yep. Now, after the announcement, a whole lot of snickering was going on around the table, right? A lot of mumbling, but they didn't say anything to me. Nobody addressed me now. Now, later that night, tell me why my girlfriend gonna come to me talking about how I'm ruining so much, how I'm ruining so much for backing out, and how her daughter ain't gonna have her dream wedding, and how her daughter ain't this and that. Okay, well, it's apparent that I'm not family in this family. So the family should take care of it, right? That's my stepdaughter. I mean, it ain't even my stepdaughter, really. It's my girlfriend. I just happen to be around her for the last 10 years. But tell me why the next day, my girlfriend trying to show me how much I'm ruined, right? She takes me to where they planning the wedding, and the wedding planner showed me, all the things they got going down, everything they got set up. I look at the venue. They got some father-daughter dances, right? 3 songs. All of them catered to her real dad, not me. I looked at the food they got. 2 of the dishes got stuff I'm allergic to in it. I just started laughing. Like, they want me to pay for this? His name on it, not mine. His songs, not mine. The food, I can't eat the food. And the 20 people out of 250 that they can't even come in my house? Wow. Okay. It's wild, man. So I went on ahead and let her know I will not be there, and neither will my money. Yeah. And they would no longer be at my house either. And you would no longer be at my house or your daughter. Because, yeah, I'm not family. I'm not even important enough to be put up on the brochure. It's crazy, man. Yeah. So I let her know that I'm not paying for it, and you and your daughter can get out of my house because apparently we're not a family. Yeah, we just two people stand up in this house, and I'm an ATM. Have fun at the wedding, man. All right, so first off, let me say this. The numbers don't lie. Around 15 to 16% of marriages already involve stepchildren. And in the bigger picture, up to 1/3 of marriages form single families. This means that millions of men and women are already proving this advice wrong. They're successfully blending families every day. Now, the reality of this rule is, in the U.S., there are roughly 10 million single mothers raising children under 18. If no man married a single mother, that's millions of children who would never experience the stability, the resources, the extra love from a committed stepfather and what they could bring to the table. For every single mother, there's also a single father. Are we ready to tell women to never marry a man who has children? Or is this rule only convenient when it applies to women? Now, I want to deal with the bias of this because, like I said, I believe it's very one-sided. First off, I want to say some men, as I show you in these other videos, have shared stories about stepfathering, horror stories. But women have their stories too. Stepchildren are SA'd or harmed by a lot of stepfathers, or they're emotionally neglected by stepfathers comparing to their actual children. Children whose needs are ignored in blended homes. And let's not forget, many stepmothers have poured their hearts out onto children only to see that those children hold a special place in their hearts for their biological mom, as no one can replace a mom or a father. That's not failure, it's a reality. A wise step-parent knows that they can't replace a biological parent in the child's heart, but they can be a pillar in that child's life. Another point, not all single parents are toxic, let's be real. Having children while single is a yellow flag, not necessarily a red one. This means it deserves vetting, not an automatic deal breaker. You understand? Some are single because they escaped abuse, infidelity, or incompatibility, not because they lack wife or husband qualities. Also, marriage is never guaranteed, family. Many childless women have used a man for his assets, gotten pregnant for financial gain, or left once they secured a lifestyle. Toxicity has nothing to do with whether someone has a child. It has everything to do with his or her character, okay? Another point, the hypocrisy of recreational use. Some men call single mothers recreational use only, meaning they'll sleep with them but not marry them. But if you wouldn't marry her, why would you sleep with her? This makes you part of the very problem you avoid, and you're just as toxic as what you're saying that she is. A great man or woman will step parent, not because they have to, but because they choose to. If we tell the world never to marry single mothers, we're not protecting families. We're actually destroying them. The real question isn't, do they have children? It's, do they have character? Because character builds homes, but bias only builds walls, okay? Now I want to talk about this double standard of the parenting side that we always talk about from men versus women and single mothers. Let's talk about the financial responsibilities, okay? Here's what they say about single mothers now. You'll be providing for children that are not yours. Money you bring in will go to feed, clothe, and support her children instead of being used for your own household. Okay, let's apply that same truth to single fathers now. Even if his children don't live with him, okay? His money will go outside of the home. Child support, school, medical bills, that's provision and protection for outside of a family that's outside of your own home, correct? Number two, priority and protection. What they say about single mothers is this: You will never be her number one priority. Her children will always come first, as they should. You'll have to accept being second place. Well, doesn't the same truth apply for single fathers? You will never be his number one priority. His children will always come first, as they should. His time, attention, and energy will be divided between your home and theirs. Number 3, shared time and emotional space. What they say about single mothers is this: holidays, birthdays, and special occasions will be shared with their children, her children, and their father. You won't get every moment of her to yourself. Doesn't the same truth apply for single fathers? Holidays, birthdays, special occasions will be shared with his children and their mother likely. You won't get every moment with him to yourself. Number 4, the parental connection. What they say about single mothers is this: if the father is responsible, you'll have to deal with him. If he's irresponsible, you'll have to deal with that too. Either way, he's not going away until the children are grown. Well, that same truth is for single fathers. If the mother is responsible, you'll have to deal with her. If she's irresponsible, you'll have to deal with that too. Either way, she's not going away until the children are grown, and guys, likely not even then. If that stepmother or stepfather shows up even after that, that child may still want them to be a part of their lives. It's just a fact. They'll always love them now. They'll always long for them. Number 5, why didn't they marry the parent of their child? Now, what they say about single mothers is this: why would a woman have a child with a man who didn't marry her? That shows poor decision making or a lack of value for forming a family unit before marriage. Now, isn't the same true for single fathers? Why would a man have a child with a woman that he didn't marry? Why didn't he step up and marry her once the child was here and create a family around her? That shows poor decision making or a lack of value in forming a family unit, right? Number 6, loyalty conflicts. Here's what they say about single mothers. She may take her children's side over yours in certain situations, leaving you feeling like an outsider in your own home. The same is true for single fathers. He may take his children's side over yours in certain situations, leaving you to feel like an outsider in your own home. Not to mention, he'll put his life on the line for his children who are not in his home as well. You understand? Parenting. Number 7, parenting without authority. What they say about single mothers is this: you'll be expected to act like a father figure to her children without having the same authority as their biological father. Isn't the same true about single fathers? You'll be expected to act like a mother figure to his children without having the same authority as their biological mother. Number 8, baggage from the past. Here's what they say about single mothers. She probably still has emotional baggage from her last relationship that could spill over into your marriage. The same is true for single fathers though. He probably still has emotional baggage from his past relationships that could also spill over into your marriage. Let me just say this. When we only warn men about the realities of marrying single mothers, but stay silent about the same realities in single fathers, that's not wisdom, that's bias. The truth is, these points apply to any parent bringing children from a previous relationship. The question should never be about the children alone. It should be about the character though, their values, their visions, of the vision of the other person that you're choosing to marry. You understand? I'm a polygamous man, okay? Lacey chose to be with me even though I already had 3 children outside of her. We have a happy family unit. We get people all the time who tell us we're wrong for that. And again, blended families and even single families, what you would call a family who doesn't have any step parents, they get divorced every day. It's at an all-time high when it comes to even monogamy. You understand? I always say relationships are about the people in them. I'm not against blended families. I think it takes a great man or a great woman to be there for a child that is not theirs, to fill a role for a child, to love and nurture a child that is not theirs. Why not speak to some of the positives? You know how many men have taken part into a man's life and watched him go off and play in the NFL, the NBA, go be successful in his life, whether he becomes a lawyer, whatever the case may be? This is tribal, family. We've always understood that families don't always work out. That's why they say it takes a village to raise a child. You understand? So even if the child isn't yours personally, they can benefit your tribe. And if you meet a man or a woman who has value, I don't think their children should be a deal breaker. I think if you meet someone of value, you need to lock that down. I don't think you should ever let a child keep you from finding a good wife or a good husband. You don't know their past, so find it out. Ask questions. Get to know them, okay? These rules of thumb like this are not good for us. Anton, I appreciate you, brother. I just think that your view is one-sided. You're considering all of the harsh realities of men, which you should, but also consider the harsh realities of women who step parent as well. For every single mother, there's a single father. Now, if she's toxic for having the children outside of wedlock, then what is he? Let's be real, man. And this whole thing about women are recreational once they have a child, I think that's so rude. It's so foul. You're saying that she should just be used now because she has a child. She's a human being, man. Nobody deserves to be played with like that. Men, if you're not going to be serious with a woman, you shouldn't be dealing with her. Like Anton said, have dick discipline. Because you sitting here trying to be with somebody saying, I wouldn't marry him, but I'll sleep with her. Well, how do you think children are made? So you're going to give her another child too, right? Potentially. Because you're doing the very act that creates a child. I always say that is prayer. We think that prayer is talking to God. No, it's action. When you're sleeping with someone, your request to the universe is you want a child. Even when you're using protection. Even when you're talking about plan Bs and all these different things. You're doing the act, but saying, I don't want a child. How about save your body for somebody who you're truly invested in? Somebody you want to build a life with. If they don't have the character, they haven't earned your temple. Let's be real. Let me just say this. I wrote a book called Before You Marry That Single Mother, so men could understand the role that they're playing when they enter into a woman and child's life. Please get the book, read it for yourself so you can see all of the points that I made very clear. I believe it could prevent all of these issues stepfathers are having when it comes to being a stepfather. And now, I think I'm going to go ahead and finish the book called Before You Marry That Single Father. I think it's really needed because we're only seeing this from one side. That being said, family, be the evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it's in that chaos that you will find yourself. Peace to you all.